Thanks for tuning in to Corvette Today, the podcast that talks about everything Corvette. Now, here's your host, Steve Garrett.
Hi, I'm Steve Garrett. It's a Corvette Today Extra because we have Z06 pricing now from General Motors, and with me this afternoon is Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. Keith, let's give our listeners and viewers updated pricing on the Z06 and the Z07.
Well, Steve, I got to tell you, this day has been a long time coming. I think we're about 250 days from the actual reveal back in October of last year of the Z06. We know that the natives were getting nervous. It was funny, about Friday morning, we started getting indications that something was happening, and by noontime, everything was blowing up, and then at 1:30, the actual pricing did come out.
And that was 12:30 Central on Friday, July 15th.
Exactly. So here's what we got, Steve. We got some very strong pricing for the Z06. The 1LZ Coupe, the starting price will be $106,395. Again, that's $106,395 for the starting price of the Z06 Coupe.
Wow.
And then it goes 1LZ, 2LZ, 3LZ. So the 2LZ is $115,595, and then the 3LZ Coupe is $120,245.
Wow.
We also have three pricing levels for the Z06 convertible. The convertible starts at $113,895, and the 2LZ is $122,595, and the 3LZ is $127,245. So if my numbers are right, it looks like there's about a $9,200 jump between 1LZ and 2LZ, and then the 3LZ is another $4,650.
And Keith, the pricing, 1LZ and 2LZ are the Mouton leather, and the 3LZ is the Napa leather. And that's the big differences in those trim packages for interior.
Yeah, you know, the other thing we'll see too is we don't have it yet, but the order guide will actually tell us what's standard, what's available, what's optional. So then from there, we can really see what are you getting for that 2LZ versus the 1LZ, the 3LZ versus the 2LZ. So really, this is where the order guide would be very handy. And I was going to talk about this a little bit later, but I think we might see the order guide as soon as Friday evening. Sometimes it leaks on a weekend night.
Great.
But hopefully we'll have it early next week at the latest. Now that we have pricing, people obviously want to see what's covered in each of those trim levels.
Keith, let's also go over the Z07 package, the pricing, and what that includes.
Sure. So we got Z07 is at $8,995 for that package. The package includes the FE7 suspension, Brembo carbon ceramic brakes, Michelin Pilot Cup 2R ZP tires, and the underbody aero strakes. And Steve, to get the Z07 package, you actually need to add an aero package to it. We saw this back with the C7 Z07, and they're doing it again now for this D8. What you want to do is you have the choice between either a carbon flash metallic version or the visible carbon fiber.
Okay.
The carbon flash is $84.95, and then the visible carbon fiber is $10,495.
Got it.
And that's where your big wing comes from. That's where your little wing is. We got pricing on the carbon fiber wheels. Those are available obviously in two different versions as well, the carbon flash or visible carbon fiber. The carbon flash metallic wheels will start at $99.95. And then if you want to go to the visible carbon fiber, that's $11,995.
You know, that's not a bad price, Keith. I was really thinking that, I was hoping that that would be the pricing, and that's really pretty reasonable for a set of 4 carbon fiber wheels.
Yeah, I had some people guessing that would be like 15 or 16,000, and I always thought that 12,000 was probably about the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's good news. And again, if you just want the less weight on the wheels and you don't really care about the visible carbon fiber, then the carbon flash is the way to go. You know, those are then just the $99.95,
right? And
you still get that 41 pounds of reduction on the unsprung weight. So that might be a good way to go for somebody. But again, you're already spending the $10,000 for the carbon fiber wheels. You might as well get the visibles for another
$2,000. Yeah. I totally agree, buddy. And you know me, I'm a carbon fiber fanatic, so I would definitely do that as well. Do we also have pricing for the interior carbon 2 package and the different pricing for the seats?
Yeah, we do. And we've got wheel pricing as well. Let me just run through some stuff here. First of all, the J57, these are the carbon ceramic brakes from Brembo. You can add those for $84.95 if you didn't want to do the Z07 package. We also have the Spider wheels. The black wheels are going to start at the $495. The satin graphite wheels are going to start at $495. But if you want to go to the machine-faced wheels, those are $14.95. And then from there, they also have the LPO wheels, and those jump up to like $37.95 for the Tech Bronze and $35.95 for the satin graphite with the red stripe around it. Pretty strong pricing there on the LPO wheels. Some of the other pricing we got, I believe these are the front splitters. We've got a carbon fiber visible front splitter for $3,995 and a carbon flash splitter for $29.95. Again, I think that's the same pricing that we saw back with C7 Z06 back in the day as well. You had asked about the interior packages. We have the stealth interior, the BAZ, that's $595. The interior dash carbon surround, this is the level 1 package, is still $1,500, but then the carbon fiber interior level 2, which adds it to the doors and the mode button, those are $49.95. That's a strong price as well. I was thinking that it would be up there around $4 or $5, and that's exactly what it came in with.
And to get the carbon 2 package, you got to get the carbon 1 package as well.
I would think that's the case. Again, the order guide will tell us that.
Okay.
So as far as seats go, there's really only 2 seats. There's just the GT2s or the competition sport bucket seats.
Okay.
On the 1LZ, you can get a competition sport bucket seat for $995. If you've got a 2LZ, you can get the GT2 seats. I think they're standard on the 3LZ, but the 2LZ, they're $16.95. So I think the seat pricing is pretty close to being similar to what we see on Stingray.
Gotcha. Well, that sounds good. Is there anything else that we haven't covered yet for the Z06 or the Z07, Keith?
Well, we're really digesting this. We literally got this pricing information an hour ago. So we're still going through. There is an option on here for the gas guzzler tax, and it says TBD, so to be determined. The gas guzzler tax, I think, on the ZR1 was $2,100 or is it $2,300 or so?
Something like that.
In 2019. And then the Z06, I think, was around $1,700.
Okay.
So it could be something similar or around that area. I don't think it's going to be much higher than that.
That sounds good. And then we're going to see everything online on July 28th. Isn't that correct?
That's when the ordering is actually going to start opening up. So dealers will get allocations probably the week before. That'll give them some indication of what they've got. And then they'll contact their first customers on their list and bring those people in, and they'll be able to place their initial order. We still don't have an idea of when actually production is going to start. We've been saying the 6 to 8 weeks after ordering. I think that bodes well again for a late August or maybe an early September start there.
Well, at least we have pricing, and that's the beginning of everything. So it's out and the ball is rolling.
Exactly. This has just been the one thing that everybody's been waiting on, and everybody's been kind of pins and needles a little bit. The Corvette team didn't know. This is all set by either the GM Finance. We call them the legendary bean counters. It is kind of disappointing that it is 106. I mean, obviously, it's a great car. Totally worth it. But there's a lot of people that were praying that it wouldn't be above 90. They're really stretching at that point.
Right.
They might have just gotten priced out of the market. Very sad to hear that happen. On the plus side, there's probably going to be a lot of movement in the various lists that dealers have. So don't be surprised if you see yourself all of a sudden moving up 20, 50, 100 spots by the end of the week.
Exactly right. Well, Keith, thanks for being on this Corvette Today Extra. Thanks for getting us pricing, and we'll see you in another week for our news and headlines show.
Sounds great, Steve. We got all the pricing that we just discussed. It's up on CorvetteBlogger.com. Looking forward to having some time to digest this, and then anything else that comes up, we'll talk about it next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Keith.
Thank you, Steve.
You've been listening to Corvette Today with Steve Garrett. If you'd like to contact Steve with any thoughts on the podcast or ideas for guests on Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. Or connect with Steve on social media on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using @SteveGarrettDJ. Thanks again for listening to Corvette Today.